All right, let's do something fun today. We're going to take a little journey back in time. Yeah, we're going to open up that old, kind of dusty toy chest that's hiding in the back of our minds and pull out some of the most amazing toys that really, truly defined our childhood. So let's dive in. Just think about that for a second. It's so true, isn't it? This quote, it really gets at that powerful, unspoken connection we all have to these old things. A connection that's built on sounds, on feelings, and maybe even on that very specific smell of new plastic. So, you know what? Let's become archaeologists of our own pasts. Let's unearth some of the incredible relics that helped write this secret language of play. And to guide us on this little adventure, we're going to count down 3 absolutely unforgettable toys that didn't just keep us busy. No, they actually helped shape who we are today. Okay, here we go. Kicking off our countdown at number 3. I bet you remember this one. It was small, it was super needy, and it lived right there in your pocket. Oh yeah, the Tamagotchi, that tiny egg-shaped digital pet that you absolutely begged your parents for. And then what happened? You carried it with you everywhere. School, the dinner table, you probably even slept with it. It was this little companion that would beep for your attention at the worst possible times. Man, this just nails the entire experience, doesn't it? This little digital life form depended completely on you, for food, for games, for everything. And that feeling of sheer panic when you saw the low battery warning, it was real. This little keychain wasn't just a toy. For a lot of us, it was our very first lesson in responsibility. And let's be honest, our first taste of digital grief when we, inevitably messed up. All right, moving on to number 2. This next one took the pretty simple act of spinning a top and somehow turned it into a full-blown competitive sport that just completely took over playgrounds everywhere. Let it rip. Of course, it's Beyblades. You can almost hear that sound right now, can't you? That high-pitched whir of the ripcord, and then that super satisfying clash of plastic and metal in the arena. This wasn't just a toy, it was a total phenomenon. And this is exactly why we couldn't get enough of them. It wasn't just luck, you know? It took real skill to get that perfect launch. The battles were so fast, so fierce, and it was all about playground pride. But the best part? The customization. Swapping out parts to build your ultimate champion, that's where the real strategy was. It was a whole world of competition and creativity. And that brings us to our number 1 spot. We're going from digital pets and high-tech spinning tops to something so simple, so incredibly classic, that its genius was all about pure, unadulterated physics. The Slinky, yep, just a simple coil of metal or plastic that had this almost magical ability to walk downstairs all by itself. There was just something so mesmerizing, so deeply satisfying about watching it just gracefully go down, step by step by step. No batteries, no rules, just pure, simple fun. So, I gotta ask you, you had one of these, right? Come on, what was your record for the most stairs? Take a second. What's the very first memory that just popped into your head? You know, looking back is a ton of fun, but it does bring up a bigger question. Why do these specific things still have such a powerful grip on us? What makes them more than just, plastic and springs? Well, it turns out these toys were basically development tools in disguise. They sparked our creativity. I mean, trying to build the ultimate Beyblade to beat your friend, that was some serious engineering. They taught us responsibility. Hello, Tamagotchi. And of course, they built our social skills through all that trading, battling, and fighting for playground supremacy. They were secretly teaching us about life. But look, even though we've talked about these 3 toys, the real magic isn't actually in the objects themselves. Nope, it's in your stories. When you get right down to it, these things were never just distractions. They were the scaffold that we built friendships on, that we learned lessons from, and that we used to discover a little piece of who we were going to become. So I'll leave you with this one last thought. We've dusted off a few classics today, but I want you to think, what forgotten toy is just sitting there gathering dust in the back of your memory, just waiting for you to find it again? Thanks for coming on this journey with me.